CMPradio.net, man. It's your boy Uncle P, and I have a great guest today. I just found out her real name. I've been calling her Kyanna for the past 26 years, 27 years we've known each other. Kyanna Palmer is my special guest, everybody. Clap your hands, clap your hands. Yeah, she can sing like that. Absolutely. Yeah. That's your daughter?
Yes, this is Kylie. Come on.
I'm like,
We both have speakers?
Well, we both.
yeah. Microphones. So what's up? Tanisha. See, I'd rather can I call you Kyanna?
All right.
That's okay?
Yeah, call me Kyanna.
Right, okay. All right,
cool.
Kyanna.
I'm
Thank
cool
you.
with that.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
You just right.
So this is CMPradio.net. This is Cultivating Mature Positivity Podcast. And this is not really an interview. This is a conversation. You have been interviewed by all the greats in the city of Chester, right? Everyone that's doing their podcasting. Mm-hmm. And I want to say, like, I felt kind of slighted because we go back, way back, right? Jeffrey Street. Shout out to everybody on the west side. But even further than that, me and you have been talking about doing an interview on CMP for
a long time.
For 3 years at least, right? You know, and I just want to say, you know, I am so proud of you for everything that you're doing in the community, everything that you're doing through your life. And we're gonna have this conversation, and it's really about growth. It's about understanding that the ups and downs of life, right? It's not a judgmental situation. It's not a bad situation, but it's for people that have a chance to see this podcast and can really grow from watching this podcast, because the both of us have gone through some things, but we didn't allow those things, or we didn't stay in those situations. You know what I mean? So let's get into this podcast real quick.
All right. So first I want to say hi and thank you for everybody that's tuning in. Please, we don't like likes today. We like shares. Sharing information. It's very imperative. And life shows up. Today I got my little baby girl with me, so I'm not a script type person. I'm not a script writer. Yeah, so what you see is what you get.
What you see. what you see is exactly what you get.
What you see is what you get. And yeah, we're gonna have a conversation today.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Just basically have a conversation, and I'm streaming also on my social media as well. Right. So I can't really respond back to the comments on those that's following me on my Facebook. But thanks for everybody for tuning in. And yeah, like, I hope everybody just enjoy. So it's always late. I hope everybody just, get something from this conversation, right?
Because if you don't take anything from this conversation, you're not listening.
Right. And this is my season.
Right.
This is my season to just listen.
Everyone should be listening. Active listening is a part of communication.
Right.
You feel me? Like, it's not just about talking and saying how you feel. I think when you hear the word communication, you think it's about talking. Am I talking? How can he hear me? How can she hear me? But it's all about, active listening as well, because you have to stop and really listen so you understand what that person is saying to you. We don't do that.
I think that goes back to when we was younger, though.
Why?
Because when we were younger, it was like we didn't have a voice. And when we wanted to talk, it was like forced. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now it's like,
oh, you gonna hear me?
Yeah, or you gonna hear me. It was something that was not really like natural. It was like we was forced to be quiet.
Right.
And everybody want to feel like they grown. I know I always wanted to feel older than what I was. So yeah, so now I understand it, and I think that was too. Maybe if it was explained to me why to close my mouth, You know,
I think that's a natural progression of life. I think when we were younger, our grandparents, I know my grandmother, she was right on spot with everything.
right.
With friends, with people,
grams was different, though.
with giving. You understand what I'm saying? She was
Right.
right on spot. I did not want to listen. I was hard-headed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so let's go back to when we were kids. Let's
Let me say something.
go ahead. Go
So-
ahead.
Listen, I want to give a shout out to P for having me on the show. And I got my specialty on today just for P.
And thank you for that. I appreciate that.
So, yeah, you're awesome. You and everybody else that's in the community that's providing resources and information and having these platforms, you know, for other people to be able to receive get the information.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, let's go back.
Let's go back to, I want to say, because sometimes, you know, going backwards, it allows us to see the things that we were taught and the things that we ran from. I ran from order, you feel me, into a world of chaos.
Wow.
And you were just on Keeping It 100 with Dr. Kristen Motley. You can go back on the cmpradio.net and watch her interview with George Bink and Dr. Kristen Motley, right? And see what I'm talking about, because when she said she was going through an identity crisis, I was like, damn. If you go back and look at us when I was in high school, so it was like I think I was in like 11th grade. This was maybe 1996.
Right.
You feel me? It might have been 95 when we first met. You feel me? And you were coming down there, and you know, who are you coming down there with? I want you to give a shout out to your girlfriend, right?
My best friend Amy.
That was, and listen, her
Amy Fitzgerald.
and-
That's my best friend.
and her best friend. I was trying to make Amy my best friend, right? So things didn't always pan out the way, but it felt nice. It felt
Yeah.
nice, right?
Yeah.
But at that point, we were both going through an identity crisis, and we didn't know it. You know what I mean? No one was there to really tell us the things that we were about to face
Right.
in our life. You know what I mean?
I think that we could look at life as two ways when we was being raised and coming up, right? You could either look at life as, you know, experience, or you can blame fault, right? Because I can sit here and blame fault on my mom. I can blame fault on, you know, how I was being raised in the home. I could blame fault on a lot of things, right? But now I've learned through experience that blaming fault only holds resentment.
That's it.
And in order to grow in life, you got to be able to forgive.
Ooh.
However, a lot of things stemmed up from me growing up, right? But, and let me say this to someone that's listening, right? You got people like, mental health is really big.
It is. It's supposed to be.
Yeah,
it
mental
should
health is really big, but the stigma that's placed on mental health in underprivileged populations and neighborhoods, like, is causing, it's like a lot of the murders and a lot of the self-identity, it's a lot that's caused from that. Shout out to Anitra Green too.
Yes.
Yeah, for her therapy and
Absolutely,
what she do.
absolutely.
She comes on all the time, and I mean, like, she gives out like
Gyms.
just gems free.
No charge.
You know, I wish I had that back then, but unfortunately, like I said, so going back to the home. So yeah, my household wasn't a pleasant household. I spoke about that. I
Right.
speak about that often.
Right.
I suffered from an identity crisis. I think that because I didn't get that nurture from my mother, that I wanted, I began to use or watch what I seen around me, right? Like Little Kim and Foxy Brown, and I heard them saying, you know, like, heard Little Kim songs of
Right.
what a guy could do.
Right.
You got Foxy Brown, and
Right.
she coming out with these fur coats with nothing under it.
Right.
So, and I'm like, I thought that, to me, I'm thinking
That's
like,
what a woman was.
this is what a woman is. Like, the guys,
This is the top.
what they want.
The
And
men
then
are chasing.
the guys they were rapping
Right.
for, or,
Them,
you know,
right.
they were like what I seen in my neighborhood.
Right.
So I became Foxy Brown. I
Yes, you
became
did.
Little Kim.
Yes,
I
you
became,
did.
And I became these people that I seen and imitated these people, but internally, I never knew who I was. I never was
Right.
able to find who I was.
Right.
And now at 41 years old,
That's freeing, though.
at 41,
I want to
I'm
say
just
it was
now going in.
No, I want to say you started. I want to say you started about 8 years ago, though, right? Understanding who you were. You know what I mean? Because you can't knock all the other. Yes, 41 right now.
Yeah.
You have reached not your pinnacle, not the top, but you're climbing up the mountain. They say that the top of one mountain is the bottom of another.
Wow.
Right, so you're still climbing. There's no, I win. No, because shit, I got more to do. So I went to therapy at 36. I was the same way as you, right? Identity crisis. I wasn't allowed outside. Didn't do a whole bunch outside until my father passed away. Then I was outside. Not only was I outside, but I was outside. I was on the block. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I was a man. I had to go out there. We had to fight. We had to do everything. But I that's not where I came from. I was supposed to be a pastor. I was supposed to be a preacher. I was supposed to give good energy to other people. That's not what was allowed around me. I became a thief because my other brothers didn't have shirts and clothes. I was going to the mall, stealing clothes and handing it off to my man. You feel me? Like, not even for myself. I was going in the store and stealing food and handing it off to my man. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
Like, it wasn't my mom and dad. Well, my mom and my grandma made sure I had everything. I had clothes that I was giving out. You feel me? At the end of the day.
But everything that you identify with is just behaviors. That wasn't who you were.
No, but then I became a drug dealer. See, later I became a drug dealer. I became a drug user because I still didn't know who I was. Who was
Right.
I? Who was Jean-Pierre? I was just a 13, 14-year-old kid, right? I didn't know all of this stuff about me until I went to therapy.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like,
Right.
you become your environment. That's the things
Absolutely.
that you saw in your environment. You know, like I said for myself, like I became Little Kim. I became Foxy Brown. You know, I seen the guys outside. I seen the hustlers, and I knew that that's what attracted them. You know, that's what got them. Well, that's what I thought anyway.
That is what got them.
But and let me say this, because everybody say to me about the 8 years that I have, right?
Right.
So yeah, I have 8 years clean.
But
But I didn't go inside.
why not?
And I didn't know I didn't go inside. I just thought that, all right, I put the drug down.
Right, that's enough.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like, that's enough.
Yeah.
But like you said, it was the behaviors.
Right.
Like I was still going in stores and switching tags.
Right.
Listen, we talking. Like I'm just I can only free me by being real to me.
By being real, absolutely.
Right? I still was like in and out of different relationships. I was still lying. With 8 years clean.
So I put the drugs down.
I put the drugs down.
I did the same thing.
And I thought like, all right, so now I put the drug down. Now
Right.
I'm this new person.
Yeah. But I'm still doing the same
The
shit.
behaviors is what had me start to go internally. That's like a child molester. That's like an individual that was assaulted at a young age, right? And then they go to prison because because of the behavior or
Right.
because they violated a child. Just because they go to prison and do that time, that doesn't mean that they address the behavior. And the behavior to them was whatever they done to somebody or somebody did to them, they just did it back in return.
Absolutely.
But it's a mental thing. Like, it's like you really gotta go back to your childhood. You know, like when you go to a therapist and the first thing they say is, let's go back. They lean you in a chair and say, and they start to talk about the history. You gotta go back because that's where it all began.
That's where it all began.
And it just manifested itself because it wasn't addressed over that period of time.
Right.
So just imagine, like, I'm talking about identity crisis at a child. Like, I'm talking about, like, 11, 10 years old. And now I'm just picking up everybody that's coming out. I'm thinking, like, I got to be like these different individuals. And other people around me, my mom and my father and certain people that know me, like, why are you dressed like that? Why are you? Because, child, I used to listen, like, yeah. Like, I thought I was it, like, and not realizing I didn't know how to respect and love myself, but other people around me were losing respect
Absolutely.
for me. You know, because respect is, listen, that thing go internally. Like, you got to
Do it.
start inside.
Absolutely.
You
And if
really
you're not
do.
if you're not inside, you're not anywhere.
Listen.
You're not anywhere. So until you go inside and look at yourself internally and say, this is what I want, and take self-inventory when you're in there. These are good things for me. These are bad things for me. I got more of this than that. I don't want no more of that. Like, when I came home from upstate, I said, all right, I can't get high no more. I stopped smoking. And I was if it burned, I was smoking it. Opium, it didn't matter.
Right.
You feel me? Like, I was smoking it. And when I came home, I was like, nah, I'm not doing that anymore. Because I went to college, so I was hanging out with a lot of white kids. You feel me?
Yeah,
And they,
right.
and they were burning everything, literally. So when I came home from upstate, it was like, all right, I'm done. So I've been home from upstate since 2008. That's 14 years. But I can't say that I'm sober because I still drink. There was a time when I was still popping Percocet. You feel me? Like, I might hit some weed every now and then, but I don't. I learned to use moderation. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and not overindulge in it. You feel me? And when it gets to be too much, I'm done with it.
So, I know that we said we was going to talk about behaviors.
Right. Come
mental
on.
health.
Yep.
Addicted.
Yeah.
Addiction.
Addiction.
Addicted.
Substance abuse.
Addiction.
Addicted.
Addicted.
Right.
Multiple times.
Right. Absolutely.
Addicted to it.
Absolutely.
So, people have to understand and realize that when it comes to,
I have an addictive personality.
I have an addictive personality.
I can become addicted
So,
to anything.
Like I said, I went from Little Kim,
Right.
Foxy Brown,
Right.
whoever else that was coming out, the groups that Beyonce and whoever else was coming, all these different masks over this whole period of time.
Wow.
That's a lot of different personalities.
It is.
So when it comes to like acting,
You can do that.
I'm the actor.
I'm the actress.
Yeah, I'm the actress.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Because I know how to add on too.
Yeah.
I know how to add on too.
When I said our
But
lives.
let me say this.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
What I learned that I became addicted to different personalities. I became addicted to not loving myself. I became addicted to abandonment. I became addicted to hurt. I became addicted to what hurt.
Crazy, right? That's why I got all these tattoos, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and people probably be like, how do you become addicted to
Because
something
it feels
that
good.
hurt?
Because you don't know that it truly hurt. It just feels good. It feels good to hurt sometimes, and it's like,
experiences though. That's what it is. Like a baby. If
Yeah.
you let that baby sit there and you begin, I remember, listen, even sometimes people be like, you gotta let the baby sit and cry.
yeah, you do. Man, I say that all the time.
No, the things that we were taught, man, I'm telling you.
Ain't nothing wrong with a baby crying. You don't believe that? My grandma used to tell me all the time. That's how. Number one, that's how they develop strong lungs, so they don't need the asthma pumps and all that stuff. If you always grabbing her and coddling her, now she's spoiled. You feel
That's
me? Like
the
let
truth?
her.
You
let
believe
her.
that?
I believe. Why do I believe that? Because I have a 2-year-old right now, and her mom don't like to hear her cry, so she always pick her up.
Okay.
My daughter can stay the night with me all night and sleep
Okay.
all night. With her mom, she up at 4 o'clock in the morning crying
Okay.
for milk. She don't do that with me.
Okay. So if someone else was watching your child
Right.
and you came in and you seen the child crying, would you be offended? Like, would you be like, why my child crying?
No, children
No?
cry. Unless I inspect her and see that there's blood or something that you did something to her, then that's different. But I'm not going to jump off a child crying and get upset. Go
As
ahead.
individuals,
Right.
right? And because how our parents was raised, going back to like slavery
Yeah.
and everything, we have really come accustomed to shutting out our emotions and our feelings, and we put those doctrines into our children.
We do.
Especially our young men. I spoke about this the other day. So often we hear when a child is you beat a child and then you tell a child not to cry, right? Pain, physical.
Right. Should be ignored.
Oh. Hold on, because I got to give a mommy look.
Right.
Oh, okay. I'll see you later, Kylie. Life showing up, right?
Yeah, that's what they do.
Don't do that, though. Don't. Okay? Okay. I lost my train of thought.
I know you did.
Okay.
You were talking about as a child, we're used to doing things the way our ancestors did them, and it goes back to slavery.
So, and that's what we've been taught. So we got to break these generational curses. They have to be broken. They have to be broken. I remember being taught that, have more than one guy. Because when one mess up, then you got something to fall
Spare
back
tire.
on.
Spare
now
tire.
you done put this into my addictive behaviors.
And now I got more than two guys.
Now I got more taboos.
Right.
Now, all these different, remember, I'm addicted to personalities,
Right.
changing.
Right.
So it's like, all right, now I got to have this person for this, this
that
person for that,
right.
for that.
Right.
Even when it comes to friends, if you look at it. But see, a person, let me tell you what I noticed about when you share information. And this is why I say,
oh, shit.
when you share information, or when a person is at a vulnerable state and they're opening up and they're sharing their information, they're not sharing it for likes. Let me speak about me. I don't share for the likes. I don't share for the opinions, right? I share so someone could be able to identify. Identify. You know what? Instead of them saying, let me go and share this live because Kyanna going on here and she's talking about she snorted cocaine. Let me go on this live and, because she talking about she was, in different relationships. Let me tell you something. If I can say what I've been through, whoever you take and share it with or talk about, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Don't
matter.
share the mess. Share the message.
Say it again.
Don't share the mess.
Share the
message.
God damn it.
And that's the problem. You got to learn to know what to share. Because if a person is saying and telling you about their behaviors, and you think like, and you go try to use that to throw rocks at them or throw stones at them or to demise who they are, you're not doing nothing to that person.
Nothing.
That's only you being stuck in a place because guess what? You don't want to self-identify. You got to be true to yourself.
Boy.
You got to be true to yourself.
That's a word right there.
That's important. That's really important.
It is.
Seriously.
Highly important.
That's highly important.
So when I first started this radio stuff, I came out and said everything. I was a cheater. I cheated on my wife. I lied to her. I never hit her, never abused her, but I was wrong in so many ways. And that goes back to when I went to therapy. My therapist asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. I was 36 years old. 36 years old. And he asked me what I want to be when I grow up. Like, what you mean? Like, he's like, what you want to do? He said, you're 16. He took me back to being 16. He said, you started selling drugs, you stopped evolving. You stopped moving like normal
and what age
human.
were you?
16.
16.
I was 36 when I finally went to counseling.
Right.
I was 16 when he took me back. That's how far he took me. He didn't take me back to the time before my father died.
Right.
He was like, because everything was good then. He's like, I'm going to take you 4 years from after your father died. You feel me? And say, what do you want to be? At 16. And I wanted to be a radio DJ.
I think that let me just say what I learned through experience, that a want, a worth, and a need they're all different. They're all
Want,
different.
worth, and a need.
They're all different. I always confuse the want for my worth. It's always because I wanted this, because I wanted that, because I wanted him, because I wanted that. And that's always what it's been. But it wasn't like, I didn't look at the worth of it. The value.
Now, how much is that worth, right?
I settled for so much in life.
Settle for so much less.
I did.
Yeah.
But like I said, I talked to my mentor before coming here.
Right.
Listen, God got me grounded.
Do it.
Listen, let me tell you what's important. What's important is what's being poured in you when God delivers you from something. That's so important. What's being poured into you? What are you feeding yourself? When God delivers you, it's like you feel empty. When I got clean, I felt like I ain't had no friends.
Don't nobody want to hang out with you.
Even in relationships, I'm feeling like, dang, like I hear all the beauty and all that,
right,
this, that, and the third, but
this don't feel right.
It doesn't. It's like an emptiness.
Right, it is.
And what I learned is this: it's okay to be still.
Right.
But while you're being still, God will start to put these people in place, and you'll learn the people because guess what?
They'll always be there.
You'll know them by their spirit.
Yes, they will.
They're fruitful.
Ooh.
Good people
Ooh.
are fruitful.
Ooh.
So maybe I don't understand what you're saying, Kyanna. Just elaborate, break it down a little bit more.
Break it down.
If I'm hanging with you, we're hanging together. We're not getting nowhere.
Right.
We're not bringing nothing to the table.
Nothing.
Same thing keep going on.
Right.
It's time to separate.
It's definitely time to separate.
It's time to separate. I teach my son this as well. One hand helps the other.
Right.
I can't just hold just one hand.
Right.
Right? I can't. I need two. Right? In a relationship, in a friendship, in life, that's what we need.
If I can't rely on you,
Fruitfulness.
there's no reason for us to be
Growing.
friends. Right.
Growing.
Growth.
I'm talking about the people I surround myself with now.
Right.
Call me.
Right.
The opportunities that I be
Right.
like, they be like, yeah, we was in this meeting, and I thought of you, and fruitfulness. Now don't get fruitful as
Greedy.
greed. Don't get fruitful as
I need.
opportunity.
Right.
Don't get fruitful as no, but
Because every fruitful situation is not going to be
It's
one
not
that
good,
puts
'cause-
money in your pocket,
Yeah.
right? It just gives you it gives you time to give
Let me-
your
let me-
energy
let
to
me
other
say this.
people. Go ahead.
fruitful don't have a cost on it. It's something that's like, it's you can't pay for it.
No, you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
You
just-
shouldn't want to pay for it.
Right. It's just like it's like
It's
I can't
beneficial.
even say it. It's so good. It's like
It goes off that thing that verse, that fabulous, that either you've beneficial or you're beneficial.
right.
Right? And fruitfulness is beneficial. You feel me? It helps nourish your spirit, and it cleans you off a little bit.
This is fruitful.
Right. It absolutely is.
This is fruitful.
Right.
Opportunities like, sitting in,
Right.
and, growth. Listen. The people that I'm around now, we sit 11 o'clock at night when I'm off the clock and I'm not working, brainstorming on how we could be able to come together, work collectively as a team to be able to build platforms and be able to
Help.
build projects and come up with projects, and that's what we do. Nobody's selfish. It's fruitful. I'm talking about fruitful, like, I don't want everybody to get caught up on, everything that's happening good, because before it happened good,
It was
it
bad.
was a lot of bad.
It was a whole lot of bad. Nothing but bad.
It was a lot of bad.
Until you change your position, right? And it's not a position in life, it's a position that you're standing in. When you took a couple steps back.
In order to change your position,
Go
you
ahead.
got to stop pleasing people.
I had to. It's hard.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
I was a people-pleasing person. Everything I did was for someone else. Everything that I wanted was for someone else. It was never really for me. This radio station
Right.
is for me. So over the last 5 years, I've been strictly about me. Now, in that, I still have to people please at some point because I have to be here to put on a good show
Right.
for other people, right? To sit here and engineer another person's show, to give people. I'm not charging $700 for you to come in here and have a podcast. I'm charging crumbs, $50 a
Right.
show. You
Right.
do 4 shows.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? That's $200 a month. What you do with your show is up to you, not me. But you're on cmpradio.net, so hopefully we can get out here and we can show people. And that's what all the radio station was about. Let's show people what cultivating mature positivity looks like.
But I think that comes from your experience as well.
Absolutely.
When you've been used, because it's a difference with being used and utilized. I found that I see as I go through back over my life, right, with my therapist, because therapy is really, really
Boy, it
important.
works.
'Cause
Ask me
you
how.
can really re-traumatize yourself by going back or trying to heal yourself. You need help. You really need help. And I found that that's why I started to run, because I didn't want to face who I was. I didn't like who I was.
And who were you?
Who was I?
Yeah. For you not to like him.
Who was I? I was a child that I think I was able to find all the what I don't likes about me, the defects about me, and nobody like told me, like when you got your mother or your father, they say, "Oh, good job," or I'm proud of you. When you kind of don't get that,
I know what that feels like.
you begin to look at it in other people.
Yep.
And I believe I'm quite sure that's where the people pleasing came in from.
Right.
Because in the house I was seen physically, but I wasn't seen internally. Like I was crying out for some stuff in the inside. So because nobody saw that I was crying out in the inside and I was suffering through an identity crisis, as we get older, things start to change. You get breasts,
right.
You get a cycle, and
right.
you don't know what it is. You getting
right.
told like you better not be out there screwing with that thing on, and
right.
you're just like, well, tell me why.
Why
like,
not?
I don't know
What's
why you telling me this.
Right.
You got little boys, they getting erections, and they don't know, they whacking it, but you telling them, like you can get pregnant. So I believe because the line of communication that wasn't there, that I wanted. I wanted to not just be seen on the outside. I wanted to be seen on the inside.
On the inside. And
as I got older, I always was able to pull people in from the outside, from all the the defects, and me idolizing other people. So I was good at that. I was good at covering up the outside. And that's how I was able to will people in. But then when they got inside, or they got close to me, or they broke my heart, or if I didn't have control over them, it was like, I knew how to run.
Right.
I ran from me. So shit, I can run from you. Excuse my language.
Right. No, it's okay.
I can run from you.
It's okay. We curse up here.
So, yeah, I that's who I was.
What happened in your life? Because something has to happen. You feel me? To make you do an about face on the person you were before and look at yourself and say, damn, I can't be that person anymore.
What happened?
You want me to tell you what happened to me?
No, I just
okay.
So
right.
usually when
Go ahead.
So let me tell you something too.
Right.
People may see that I always write.
Right.
I write, and I just started writing.
Right.
I find myself writing a lot. I'll be sitting up at night. I was up last night. I was talking to my sister. I love my sister, Tamika Adams.
Yes.
I was talking to her last night, and and me and her was talking, and I'm like, sis, I can't stop writing. Like, my mind, like God was just like putting all this information. Listen, when you start to go inside, like God.
He gives you all the words you need.
Yeah, he puts you and shows you that right exact thing. Like he shows you certain things, and it's just like you have no choice but to write it down because it's like so much. It's so much information. So sometimes when I'm asked to speak or whatever, or when I'm asked a question, I sit and I wait.
Right. To make sure it's right.
God,
right.
I just before I came in here, I prayed. But see, it all comes with practice. Changing your behavior comes with practice.
It does.
Praying, it's practice. Everything is about practice. And I wrote that today. I wrote, people pleasing. People please for pleasure to cover the pain. Nobody wants to, let me say it again. People please
for pleasure to cover
of pain, because nobody really wants you to see the real them. Nobody really wants you to see. I suffer from low self-esteem. I suffer from rejection. I suffer from abandonment. Like nobody wants a person to see that.
So everybody wants to be,
especially in society today.
No, at all.
Wow,
you know how many people told me I was wrong for the stuff I was saying on the radio? Man, you up there talking about you was cheating and all that other stuff, man. People going, I said, I don't care how they view me.
You don't even know how many people you probably saved.
That's not me anymore. I don't roll. And literally, my friends, I used to tell them all, I said, man, don't do that to that girl, bro. She love you.
Yeah.
Like, man, come on, man. You was out there. I said, and guess what? Y'all didn't tell me that. Y'all didn't tell me that. I'm your
you
brother.
Say love, right?
Right. I love y'all. I don't want y'all to go through what I just went through.
But what is love? Because let me tell you something about me. I don't know. I know how to love and nurture my children. I'm learning it.
Right.
You know, I'm learning it.
Right.
But when it comes to loving myself, I'm 41. I'm just now learning how to love me.
Jeez.
At 41.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
It is.
No, it's not, because you're not dead.
It is.
You're still here.
Let me tell you what's wrong with it.
Okay.
Because I was trying to start relationships with people. I was trying to start friendships with people.
Right.
How can you start to try to build a relationship? How could you open up something that's broken? Because all you're going to do is share them broken pieces with that person.
I think you about to start dropping bombs on me in a couple minutes.
So now I'm very conscientious about who I connect myself with.
Damn.
People think like, oh, you separate yourself, or you don't want to be in a relationship. I was even asked like, well, do you like another sex, or you like? No, respect the fact that I'm loving me for once. I'm learning to love me. 41, 8 years clean. I never said that I loved myself. I just said I got clean from, drugs and alcohol. God delivered me from that.
Right.
And now I'm on the discipline piece. So
It takes a while.
deliverance, discipline, and direction. So I don't want to take nobody, I have to allow myself to love me. And that means separating myself and really loving who I am. Not when I got my hair done, not when I put a little eyeliner on, not when, because I'm good at masking up. But when I take it all off and ain't nobody there, it ain't no Facebook, it ain't no social media, it ain't nobody validating me. Do you like you?
Do you like you?
Do you love you?
Do you love yourself?
Do you love you?
No, it's not a lot of people
you
that
love
do.
yourself and you tell yourself you love yourself,
No.
but yet you got a man in there and you know that the things and the behaviors, he's cheating on you, you accepting what he's doing to you. Do you love yourself?
No.
You around here, you wearing these clothes that's exposing your precious body, your children watching you. Do you love yourself?
Don't be judging me.
Yeah, look, I'm getting real. And listen, the things that I'm sharing, I'm talking about me. I don't know nothing about
nobody else.
So don't let what I'm saying tap you in the spirit and think that I'm dissing somebody or I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me. That's who I'm talking about.
It's the only person you can talk
That's
about.
all I can talk about.
That's the only person you literally can talk about.
Yeah.
It's you. I'm not talking about nobody else.
So don't take it.
Bro.
Listen. Yes, God
Sad.
say, don't take
my distance personal.
Personal. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal.
I'm just talking about how I live my life
I'm just
and what I
talking
didn't
about
give
me.
to myself and what I lied to myself about and what I continue to do. Literally, I continue to do it, bro. And it becomes to a point where it's like, damn, didn't I just learn that? Like, I'm the type of person that has to learn a lesson a couple times before I stop.
You're not the only one.
Right. 17 years old, I graduated high school. I was locked up right after Christmas. First time. Like,
Wow.
damn, I fucked up. But I didn't stop. I kept on going.
Right.
10 more years. Throughout those 10 years, I was locked up. I want to say every 3 months I was getting locked up. I had kids in that time. I cheated in that time. I got cheated on in that time. I got abused in that time. It's like, you know what? I'm done. I can't keep going through this.
But what was you done with? Was you done with the behavior, or was you done with telling yourself, you know what?
I was done with the drug abuse.
The drug abuse.
When I came home from being locked up, I said, I'm not smoking anymore, but I kept on cheating. I kept on lying. I kept on playing. I became even more conniving because now I have extra money because I'm not on drugs. I'm not getting high all day. So now I was like, damn, I ain't never seen this much money before in my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm going here. But now I'm cheating. I got women all around me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, damn, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm pushing
you wasn't
P.
cheating on them, you was cheating
I'm pushing
on you.
P. I was cheating on myself because now I understand that now. You feel me?
Right.
I don't regret anything. Like, I don't want to go back and change so I can have the relationship I started off with because that wasn't right at that point.
Right.
I'm happy now. You know what I mean? Because I can honestly say what I'm doing, I'm not doing all that other shit no more.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not ever going back to that again. You feel me? But it took a lot. It took a while for things to click. You feel me? Because I kept denying myself. I kept, and like you said, going in and looking at myself, I kept denying myself the ability to shine. When I post every morning and say I'm grateful, man, I mean that shit.
Yeah, gratitude.
Like, I mean that shit, bro. I'm not doing it to get, I don't care if 2 people like it.
Yeah.
Man, that's for me. When I'm posting other things, I'm not on Facebook posting trying to get nobody to appreciate what I'm doing.
Right.
No, I'm doing that for me. Facebook asked me what's on my mind. I'm going to tell them. When I feel like shit, when I feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, I'm going to say it. I'm not going to say I'm not doing. I might say, oh yeah, people don't. Hey, communication is key. I said that the other day. I'm understanding that comprehension. That's what's key, not communication. Because you can communicate with anybody. We can communicate right now.
Right.
You not understand nothing I'm saying. So comprehension is key. You feel me? Because I'm not going to keep talking to a brick wall. That was about me.
Right.
Me
Right.
understanding what people are saying to me. Not about me talking that out to other people. No, this shit is about me. Literally, I don't care what you're dealing with. This is my life. But it's hard. It's absolutely hard, man. Growing up the way we grew up, growing up with the be quiet, stay in a child's place, and then automatically when we go outside, we're acting as adults. You understand what I'm
Stop
saying?
telling all the time.
When we're around our friends, we're acting as adults. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then we get lost. And I chased behind my cousin because that's who got the most respect in the neighborhood. You
Right.
said his name, I'm looking around. You feel me? So I'm like, yeah, that was my father because my father died when I was 12. So I chased behind him. He handed me the Dutchie. I'm smoking. I ain't care what was on it.
Right.
And I kept on smoking it until the point where it came, it's like, yeah, I can't keep doing this. My son was born. And I'm like, oh shit. Now he's going to look to me to be like my father was. And I'm nowhere near any. Oh no, I got to change. I can't do this.
But what comes with change?
Everything, responsibility, accountability, like all the abilities that they got, it all comes with change. Because now I have to be responsible for what my son sees.
Right.
Now I have to be accountable for everything that I've done that shows him what a man is supposed to do. I have to be receivable of his information when he's telling me, Dad, that's not right.
Let me share with you what came with my change.
Go ahead.
Suffering to surrendering.
I'm doing that now with the radio station.
I feel like somebody like really need to hear this. Like,
yeah, come on, give it to him.
suffering until I surrendered. Right? I was tired. And especially as a woman, you know, going through the challenges that I went through, you know, losing my son.
Right.
That was very hard for me. And then going through that and not knowing who to love already. You know, a lot of people used me around that time. I was in relationships. And I don't want to say a lot of people used me, right?
You allowed
'Cause
yourself
I always
to
look
be
at the part
used.
that I play
Right,
in things
right,
today.
right.
And that's where that gratitude also
Yep,
comes in
yep.
that. I was vulnerable.
Yep.
And the people that was around me that was hurting too, you know, there was opportunity for them.
Why not?
It was opportunity.
When don't we do the same thing?
Yeah.
When haven't we ever done the same thing?
Yeah, but I'm learning now to, because I'm trying to learn to decipher good and bad, who's good, who's this and who's that.
Right.
I stay still, and that's a part of surrendering.
It is.
Cause I always moved my entire life.
It ran.
I always moved,
No problem.
so I had to be still
You had to sit still.
and surrender.
Right. And sacrifice.
Yeah.
Those 3 S's, bro. Surrender, sacrifice.
But gratitude, when people see me, like you see me, you know, I have bad days, you know, but the gratitude comes in at, the gratitude for me is the fact that when I was out there, you know, getting high, drinking, snorting cocaine, it caused me to, like, you have no control over it, right? It's like you have blackouts when you drink. You wake up not realizing that you done went home with somebody.
Like, who the fuck is this?
What
Oh my
the
God.
hell?
Oh, damn.
But the gratitude for me is that today at 41, although I didn't, you know, I placed myself in situations that could have caused me long-term harm. You know,
You're here.
I'm here. Ain't no HIV. It ain't
Right.
no
I ask myself that all the time.
It
Like,
ain't no-
damn.
you know what I'm
I
saying?
missed that. I
Like,
missed that. Thank you.
And listen,
Thank you,
I
God.
advocate. Now, don't get me wrong. I advocate
you
for those
should.
that have,
Absolutely.
immune deficiencies.
Right.
I got good friends that I met in recovery, and it just was like when I got to that place of recovering. And that's where the gratitude comes in at.
Right.
When you hear other people's stories. Yeah, and they be like,
I was doing that same
I
shit
was out
too.
there and I was running, but I got to do this now, and I got this. It's like, oh my God.
They didn't listen.
God.
They didn't hear it.
It wasn't the fact that they didn't listen.
Maybe they just didn't comprehend.
No, God got his own way
Of stopping?
See, we here for a purpose. And I think that because we create our own plan, and we think that because society tells us that, we have to get these things, we have to live this way, we have to be, we're here for his purpose.
His purpose and his purpose
plan,
only.
His will.
Ooh.
Right? So I never thought that my mission or my purpose would be that I helped to bury my child. I never thought that was going to be a part of my I'm Little Kim.
Right.
I'm Foxy Brown.
Right.
I'm SWV.
Right.
I'm not going to be a grieving mother. And that's what it is. But at the end of the day, I met other women that been through what I've been through and share my story. And when I hear their story, and I'm like,
wow.
Okay, God. I'm grateful.
Right.
I got my mind.
Right.
I forget sometimes. But that's
just
okay.
getting old. That's just getting older.
But
it's
yeah,
okay.
but that's okay. Like I said, I didn't catch any type of STVs, like STDs or nothing like that. Like he kept me.
Right.
He kept me.
Right. Say it again.
He kept me.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He kept me. And I didn't realize that he kept me. Okay. Just wait till Mom be done, okay?
That's real.
Yeah, you know why? She's so used to us, like, it's us.
Right.
This is just what's at home. Like, it's always us. I invest so much in them now.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I invest
There's nothing
so much
wrong
in
with
them.
that.
I just had and I know I'm jumping off of something, but because I like I said, I brung her for the first day because she was like, "Are we gonna talk today?"
Yeah.
And we, but it's what she see. It's fruitful.
Right.
This is what she see. What I'm pouring into her.
So I was asked, what do I want from the radio station? Mm-hmm. And I said, I don't want money. I already have money. I don't want to take trips.
Right.
I want to be comfortable. I do want to be comfortable. But I want for my kids to see something greater than themselves. Because I didn't get a chance to see that when I was younger, right? See their father working on something that could be greater than themselves, that they can one day inherit this when it's already a radio station. Like, I put the work in for all this stuff, so that's why I do it. It's for my kids. So my youngest daughter, when I got her on Sundays and we sitting, she right here. Now she's fussing and messing, but at some point it'll click.
Yeah.
And she'll be in there like, cmpradio.net. Right? And that's what I look forward to. And that's a fruitful situation.
When it comes to a want for me, and now you about to
Right. Come on.
see,
What?
because I told you, when it comes to a want for me, I just want God to just have His way.
Right.
Because I don't know what I want.
Right.
I don't know what I want. I know that God has a will for me. And I'm thankful that He has a will for me.
So
I'm thankful because that's what we do before death. We go, we sit down, and we write out this will, and we write. That's something that means eternal. He already got it. He already know the end, the beginning. He already know.
you know the whole thing.
Yeah. So
The whole thing.
if I go into my want,
Then you're going outside of
I'm
what?
getting dangerous.
Right.
I'm getting dangerous. So learning myself, and It's such a beautiful thing. But let me go back to gratitude,
Go
you know,
ahead.
because people see me today, and I got a phone call from my little cousin the other day, and she was like, I see what God doing, and you just on all these platforms, and I just didn't want to bother you, and I just didn't want to. You can never, listen, I'm so daggone humble that I don't even see what's going on around me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. Like, I take on the opportunities that's presented to me, you know, but I never want to lose that. I never want me to step in front. I want to stay humble and be a servant to God. And since I've been being that, I ain't been wanting for nothing.
You ain't got to
Listen,
worry about nothing once you become.
remember, I don't know about a want. My needs. Yo, my needs, I need nothing because of God.
I had to learn that over again. I think this month is very hard for me. I get depressed because so my birthday is next Thursday, the 22nd. I get super depressed around after Thanksgiving. I'm shut down, right? I'm upset. I'm mad. I get easily angered. You feel me? And when I was younger, it would get real crazy around this time. Like everything would just ramp up right before my birthday. But now I'm understanding. I'm like, damn, that's why that happened. That's why this happened. So, you know, depression is real, right? And I won't be the first person to ever tell you, like, I suffer from holiday depression. I get mad because the one thing I want for my birthday, I could never get.
Let me tell you what depression is. Pressure from things not being released. Right? Things that you're not addressing. And that's why it's good to therapy.
Right.
Therapy is good. Having that, I know I deal with trust issues, so certain things, you know, you be like, you don't. So now the system that I have, that God placed, the people that God put in my life, I'm able to just share how I feel. I follow a program. Today. And I take suggestions. Always remain teachable. I'm a very, you know, I stay teachable.
You're supposed to be.
Yeah.
You're a servant. If you're saying you're a servant of God, you got to be teachable. You got to remain a student to be a servant, right? You have to remain grateful to be a servant. These are things of that a servant has to have on their tool belt.
Well, December is depression month for a lot of people.
Bro, I know. And I've talked to more people. So my phone's off. So if you tried to call me, my phone's off. That will happen every December from now on. Right? If you want to talk to me, you better call me FaceTime. You feel me? You want to reach out to me, you better text me.
But why? You just shutting yourself out.
No, I have to because I take on more.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That I'm
Okay.
able to give out,
Okay.
and it hurts. So don't bother me for this month. You feel me? After December, my phone will be back on. Everything will be up and running. You feel me? But I feel like that's the only time I get for me.
I have I had that moment today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know who I call?
Who?
My father. My father is like,
Yeah.
you know, my father has always been there, right? I'm talking about good, bad, indifference.
Right.
I mean, I call and talk to him about there's
Everything.
nothing that we don't talk about.
And that's what a
right?
father's supposed to do.
And I said to him today, I said, Dad, you know, I have had so many opportunities. iHeartRadio just
Right.
asked, can I be a guest speaker there?
Absolutely.
Temple University.
Absolutely.
I took that and I was just like, but when I look around, I'm like, Dad, like, who do you share these moments with?
Who, you?
Me, right?
Yeah. You sharing
called
with your
my
kids
dad.
and your family.
I tell you,
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
But and I called Daddy and I said, Dad, I said, I needed to talk to somebody today about something, and for some reason, I wasn't able to get people. Like they were just so busy, or they didn't answer the phone, or they sent me the voicemail, and he had to remind me, like, baby, listen, because people look at you. Because they see that what you're doing, they feel like you're so strong, and they feel like, you know, you could be able to take on certain things. Like you don't need to release, right? He said, but it's lonely up there.
It
in
is.
Success.
It is.
And I didn't understand it at first. I'm like,
and you wanna
it's
bring people
lonely
with
and
you.
Success, like, wait, Dad, like, but this is what people strive for. And then I thought about it after I let it register. I'm like, a lot of celebrities, like, they always by themselves. Like, when
Right.
you see them, like, it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, they have entourages, but really, like, they really by themselves. I guess that was when they start to change their face and I don't know, and do
Right.
other things. But I'm like,
The
wow.
entourage starts in the beginning when success is very small.
Yeah, but sometimes
And as success rise,
sometimes
look at Tom
people-
Cruise. Look at LeBron James. Like, he started off. Listen. When if you're gonna stay at that level of success, then you'll always have an entourage. If you have plans to move up and to allow yourself to move up, and you begin to service other people, looking out for little kids and opening up a school, your entourage begins to dwindle off because you don't need yes men around you. You need people moving in
But
action.
it wasn't for validation. It was just like certain people that call me, and I'm always available for them.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
and,
I get it.
And it was like today I really needed, and I was like, I told my dad, I said, I didn't want to call you, Dad, because I feel like I just burn you out with stuff. And he was like, baby, you never can burn me out. You know, I'm talking about, I just think whenever I call him, I think about when I got arrested that day in prison, and the judge told me they was locking me up, and before the judge even conveyed that he was going to lock me up, I made a phone call to Daddy. I'm like, Dad, like, this don't look good. And he was like, no, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm going to grab one of your brothers, and I'm on my way. Even in prison, you know, when he came and visited me, and nobody was there. Nobody else came and visit me. Right? Even when I was in a recovery house for 6 months, like, nobody came to see me. But I was the person that was when I look back, I'm like, Dad, I was always the life of the party. Like, where was the party?
The party was still going
when
on.
I was by myself, like,
The party was still going on.
but the invitation was open. I mean, the invitation was there, but it was like, nobody showed up.
Nobody
And it
from
was
the party
surprising.
comes-
It was like a surprise party. Damn. And you know what? That's probably why I want a surprise birthday party.
Right.
Shout out to Rashida,
Right,
my
right.
cousin Nikki, my family, because I
Right.
was like, yo, I want a surprise birthday party. But in those moments when I wanted to surprise people, they weren't there. I was there celebrating it by myself. Them 90 days, I was by myself. In that treatment facility for 6 months, I was by myself. You know, even when I used to get high, because I started high, and then when I started snorting coke, you know, like, I was like, I went into isolation, like, like, it was always like I found myself by myself. I found myself by myself at a lot of moments. When I was homeless, I found myself on those streets in Philadelphia with my son, but I still felt alone because he didn't understand. He just was like, he was like a camper. He was just like, come on, Mom. And I'm just like, we got to go to this shelter. And he was like, all right. He didn't complain. He didn't whine. He didn't cry. He's just like, all right.
Why would he? He's with his mother.
I guess he just
and
felt,
when you left him, if you ever left him, that's
I
when
did, those 90 days.
that's when he felt alone.
He did.
And you felt so. The people at the party didn't miss you. Your kid did.
Yeah, he did.
You feel me? So I when I left my daughter, when I went to jail, my daughter really wasn't. She was non-communicative. Like, she wasn't talking.
Right.
And I knew nothing was wrong with her. I just said, hey, she a late bloomer. It's cool. You'll catch on.
Right.
I got locked up. I went upstate. I called home. Was talking to Taylor. Taylor was talking, and then she was like, I'm gonna get a phone to Pilar. I said, hey, baby, how you feeling? Hey, daddy.
Excited.
Oh my God, bro! Like, that
I
broke
know,
my
really.
heart. I
know.
start crying. I'm like, I gotta go. I ran straight up to my cell, put my head. My daughter, her first words was when I was locked. She was 2 years old.
Oh,
My
you
s-
talked to your daughter when you was in prison?
Yeah.
I couldn't talk to my son.
Right. Well, I was upstate, so I was okay I could talk. They was with their mother, right? But that broke my heart. I said, I'm not coming back here ever again. I don't care what I got to do. You know, I'm Muslim, so, you know, I went to Jumu'ah, I prayed, and I did a lot of stuff. And people say, how come you're not doing that stuff now that you're home? And it's not that I don't do it. I do it. I just don't do it in front of you for you to sit there. And so I just, giving your energy, giving your positive energy to a community, to a place, to a thing, that's a lot of stress. right?
It is.
And to deal with those stresses, sometimes you just need to, and that's why I cut my phone off, right? This month of December.
Does it feel like when you shut it off, like everything, like you just like
Yes, I get to breathe. For the first time, because I'm not even here at the radio station. I'm in the
Right.
apartment, right? I get off, I drop my daughter off at school, I go right back home, and then I work on things that need to be situated coming 2023. You know, because I can't do that with my phone ringing the way it ring.
Yeah.
Everybody calling, yo, what's up with you? Oh, you good? Yo, can I come do this? Yo, can you do this? Yo, can I do this? Yo,
You
can
can't let everybody have access to you.
Everybody,
when you're
but
growing
everybody
when you're healing.
does. Everybody
when you're
does.
Healing and you growing.
I thought I was healed, and then I had to
No.
realize that I wasn't. You feel me? Because I cried on Thanksgiving, bro. Went in my car, and I cried on Thanksgiving. Not at what I missed, but what I could have if I just did the right thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, damn, like I could have another wife. I could possibly be married again.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? But if I do the wrong thing, I won't never be married again.
Recovery takes work.
It does. It
Recovery
does.
takes work. But
Absolutely.
over a period of time, you begin to heal. That's like going into a rehab.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you've been. That's think physically, right? And you like with me in a car accident, like when I was on life support, and they was saying that, you know, I was having issues with my legs, whatever, and I had to go through a rehabilitation period, right? But the people that was around me at that moment, they were skilled and trained on how to get me back physically
Right.
Mobilized, right? But just imagine if they weren't,
Right.
and I just let people just come in and just like take over, and it's like, oh, let me help you.
Right.
I wouldn't.
You probably be in a wheelchair or walking on your knees.
So, and like I said again, I hope that what I share, or you know, my
I don't want this to be the last time that you come through here either,
It's not going to be the last time.
because
but
that's the way you're making it sound right now.
I know, but the thing is,
You're busy.
It's
Come on, Key, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
no, it's not that. It's just that I want to be able to say this in the right way. Let's go back to use and utilize, right? I'm learning balance. I'm learning balance. I'm telling you, I'm really learning Kyanna. Like, I'm really learning Kyanna. Tanisha, I love, listen,
Right.
all right?
Right.
So, no, give mommy 1 minute, okay? All right, I see it. Great job. I'm learning balance. I'm learning parenting. One thing I learned that from all the damage and all the self-doctrines and all the things that I've been through in life, you know, that you just don't heal over a period of time. Like, it's just not like 2 years, 3 years,
No.
8 months. No,
No.
I done some mental damage to myself.
No.
I done some damage.
Right.
I gotta unlearn the things that was taught and instilled in me.
Sheesh.
You know, when it comes to grief, yeah, I have my moments. You know, I grieve. Am I a victim? No, I don't let it. I don't sit in that moment anymore. Like I don't, you know. And it's just me. Like I don't. I can't sit and like just sit in a place of like suffering. Like I just can't. Like after I was able to smile again, when God granted me that gratitude, because that's what He grants you. Like when God granted me that, listen, I try to take any and everything and make something positive out of it. You know, I really do. Like I again, yeah, I cry, and I noticed that lately, because I'm not a perfect person, right? Remember, practice, prayer, you know, all that coincides together, right? I'm not a perfect person. I'm not even reaching for perfection. I'm reaching for some people that's suffering. That's what I'm reaching for. I'm allowing God to use me for those people. Cause that's what it's about. Like
That's
I
all it's
said,
about.
people think like, you know, oh, you think I enjoy going around and saying, you know, yeah, No, I'm humble enough to say these things, but this is just part of what God has me to do. Like, and the reason because it's a lot of people that's stuck. Right? It's a lot of people that's stuck.
Say it again.
And last night I set up, right? And I was like, I gotta define the meaning of stuck. Because sometimes we get stuck, even in grief, we get stuck in stages, right? Satan sends temptation until your complaining kills you. That's what stuck is. Satan putting trials, tribulations, putting there, placing them there. Because God is a good God. Now everybody that, think that God does this and God sets up traps and God takes your child away and God did that for a reason. God is not a God that hurts. He heals. He don't destroy, he delivers.
Damn.
Satan, that evil spirit, like it's a God, it's the evil spirit as well.
Right.
And he comes to keep us stagnant, stuck in that place.
What's going to keep her here?
Life is a journey.
What's going to keep him here?
Life is a journey. And it's stages to that journey. And one of them is you got to surrender. You got to trust the process.
Yes, you do. You definitely got to do that.
You got to change the attitude.
Yes. Ooh.
You got to let God.
Preach.
And you got to experience. Now, they stages, and I gave it to y'all. I just broke stage down. And that's what you got to do on this journey.
Absolutely.
Because there's nothing that you can change. Remember, I made plans. So when you make plans, that means that you're going to a destination. That means that you're stopping at that one place. You only see a vision to get there. But on a journey, there is no end. There ain't no end on a journey. You're just going.
Damn.
When you make plans, when you make plans. So it's the difference from plans and a journey. God is taking me on a journey. So every experience, good or bad, even when trials and tribulations rise, my teaching from my Bible tells me that we're supposed to rejoice when trials and tribulations come. And I'm like, well, rejoice. Okay, that's part of the journey. That's the J in the journey. All right, you rejoice in it because it's lessons in it. It's going to deal with the behavior, the attitude. It's going to change some things. It's going to change some things about you.
Whether you want them to or not.
You don't have no choice on the journey.
You don't have no choice.
That's why that S could be surrender. You got, listen, here, God, take it. Whatever you want, whatever you see fit, do it. Because he going to do it regardless.
Don't even matter.
Now,
you either going to lose it this way or you're going to lose it that way. You either going to lose it today or you're going to lose it 5 years from now. And that thing going to hurt.
Jonah said, I ain't going. He said, I ain't going where you want me to go. He said, go to Nineveh. He said, I ain't going to Nineveh. I don't want to do that. God crazy. He want me to send this message and tell these people ain't going to listen to me. They doing what they want. And look at his journey. Look what he went through. And got caught in the whale's mouth. Look what he went through. And when that whale released him, when he wanted to surrender, because see, people think that once you get to the bottom, you can't surrender. He was in the bottom of the what? He was in the bottom of the belly. And said, take me, I surrender. I don't want it. My plan wasn't, I don't want this plan anymore. So God could forgive you at the bottom. If you ask for it.
If you ask for it.
You gotta ask for it. You gotta submit, surrender,
and sacrifice.
But when the whale opened his mouth, he was right there at Nineveh.
Right.
Boy, he was right there at Nineveh.
He was ready to do what God asked him to do.
His plan turned into the journey.
Right.
Without his will. So we go. Listen. I'm telling you, like what God is doing in my life, I'm so grateful.
Absolutely.
I'm so grateful. Cause he good.
Yes, he is. All the time.
He good.
All the time.
He's so good. And let me tell you this. Some platforms, because a lot of things y'all don't see that I do. Some things I go live and I share what I do. Some places, they like the script. Or let's go over this. Or, you can't say God. You can't say God on certain platforms. Mm-mm. You got to say what I believe in or something greater than myself or a higher power.
Right, because they have people that prescribe to that mode of thinking. Right, no one wants to give God a name or Scientology okay. And all that other stuff.
But listen, even in the Bible,
respect.
Well, when God did miracles, He even told them, "Don't say." The leopard man, he said, "Don't say that I did it." But see, when He does something and He delivers you, how you can't say it? You gotta say His name. You gotta say, because of God, I only sit here. He covered me. He took me from a dark place.
Yes, He did.
I'm talking about even when let me listen, right? Listen. Now, P, now you kept me here too long. Now you better get me off.
No, we about to get off.
All right.
We about to get off. Right.
I remember when I remember certain moments, right, when I used to snort coke. And I felt so, that's what it leads. Shit,
right.
Listen.
Right.
You talk about withdrawal, right. That's a whole nother thing.
I know.
Anyway, so I remember when I used to snort coke, right? And remember I said I was by myself sometimes. Right. And I remember saying the next day when you wake up and you see the residue in the bag there, and I'd be like, God, like, take it away from me. Like, I don't want it no more. And because I was addicted to a feeling.
Right.
I was addicted to what I thought was a feeling. Right? That's what I was addicted to. What I thought was a feeling. Because I always tried to feel a void. I always tried to feel. So whatever I thought that was possibly that feeling, I would chase it. I would chase it. And then I would find out I would still be empty. But what I'm saying is, even in those dark moments, even when I would cry out when at my darkest and deepest moments, even when I didn't want to lay with certain people, you know what I'm saying? Just so I could be able to get high, because they was getting high and they was snorting dope. They was snorting too. Like, I would cry out to God, like, I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to lay with these people. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, God. Those prayers, those foxholes prayers, they didn't come at that moment. And maybe they didn't come at that moment because God felt like you wasn't ready.
Right.
But when I got arrested,
said, you ready now?
That's when my life changed.
You ready now?
Am I ready? Listen. You
don't got no other choice. Right?
I'm going to tell you like this. If you ain't get it when it was out there and I was giving it out because I ain't know no better, shame on you. Shame. What? It's over.
It's over for y'all. It's over. Wow, man. Kyanna, I didn't think this would go here. I'm happy it did. I want you to come back whenever you have time. We can do it again. Yeah. Right? Because I think us telling our stories of our lives, and we can possibly have some other people come up too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because when you first hit me up, it wasn't just about you. Right. It was about grieving mothers.
Yeah, it's
and
never
I feel like there are so many women in the city of Chester that are suffering. Men too, right? But more on the women's side, because men, we hide our suffering. Mm-hmm. We don't want nobody to know we're suffering. Right. Women, you could tell by their behavior and the things that she's dealing with something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I feel like that can work, and we can discuss it after we're done with this, because you sent me something else and I want to talk to you about that too.
Yeah. I think that's going to be we won't talk now, but I think that's going to be a really good project. I got some great people from Philadelphia they was like, whew, they like that's going to be it for the city, So, but we'll pray and see what happens and let God have His way.
Let God have His way, man. I appreciate you. I want to thank you for coming through. This has been the Cultivating Mature Positivity podcast with Uncle P. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Again, you can go and rewatch this live on YouTube or Facebook. She got her P shirt on, right?
Can I get my little P shirt?
Right.
Facebook friends. Listen, only for Pierre.
Right. She hit me up. She said, "What size are you, P?" I said a 2X. She's like, "No, you're not."
I should have just grabbed
She
the
was
shirt.
gonna bring the shirt. I was gonna be in here all tight. But I would have appreciated it.
Yeah,
Nonetheless, Key, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your energy, everything that you're doing, your job, your whole community outreach situation that you're doing right now is important. So, keep doing what you're doing. May everything that's for you be for you.
Yeah.
You feel me? And you let people know how you got to that point.
Yeah.
Right? You ain't get to that point without surrendering.
Yeah,
you didn't get to that point without sacrifices. And you damn sure ain't gonna get to that point without what else?
God.
God.
So before we go,
Yeah, go ahead.
we don't want to like.
We want to
We want
share.
to share. Right? It's not about the mess. And you can take it, you can run with the mess, and you can say, Kyanna got on the show and she talked about what she did. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. Share the message. Because it may be somebody that's not connected to CMP Radio, somebody that's not on Facebook that's connected to me, that could probably identify if you share this, and you might help them. So let go, let God, man.
That's all you can do. It's CMPRadio.net. It's your boy, Uncle P. I want y'all to be safe. Don't hurt nobody, man. Peace.
I gotta keep extending. No, ain't no love.